Hey, street talks and foodies. So, on this video, I will show you how I post-process my food shots, my product shots. How do I normally go along with it? So, on this shot, I'll be using these two subjects, the Olympus 10 and the Fuji XE something of my friend. So first I start with the composition, but this is the finished edited photo. Let me reset this for you. Reset. First is I start with the alignment and the composition, the cropping. And in this instance, actually, I made some mistake by making the photo not aligned at all. So normally I start with this crop overlay tool, and I use the straighten tool, and I find something on this frame on the picture with a straight edge, or whether it's vertical or horizontal. In this case, I'll use this sleeve, this leather sleeve or leather wallet for the bill to align. I use this side of it. I click on one side and click the other side, and boom, it straightens out the picture for me. So as you can see here, it maintains the aspect ratio of the original shot, which is 4/3. So after that, I normally reframe. In this case, I want this plate to be in the center. I want to make sure that this side is equal on the other side, and sometimes the frame prevents you from further dragging it to one side, so I'll drag this quite a bit to allow me to drag it even further. Okay, so now the plate is somehow in the center, but I want to have more of this plate and more of this plate and more of this foam on the frame. I'm not concerned about this ice water, so I think about this frame is good. And at the same time, since my subject is obviously the two cameras, I want them somehow to intersect on the power lines or the line of thirds. So this lens intersects somehow on this line, and this lens intersects somehow on this line. So that's a good rule. So you see, there's a lot of things at play in here. The two main subjects and the other subjects competing against them, like this phone, this plant, this plate, this bucket, this ice water. But it helps to bring in attention to these two subjects. So first is the composition, the framing. If I didn't get it inside the in camera the first time, then I press enter. Then after that, I look at the histogram to check my exposure. Looks nice as of now, but normally with Olympus cameras, I expose the highlights much more, just to make sure that during post, so these are raw file, I drop the highlights down as such. So the reason why I do this, you see some details on the overexposed areas coming to life. Somewhere the details on the plate, you can bring it down. Oh no, I'm on the wrong slider. If I bring it down, I see more details on the plate and details on the paper mats. So I do it about here, about 25%, and sometimes in the same manner I drop down the whites. to bring more details up, and I lose the overall exposure by doing that. So let's try to recover some of that. So you see more pop and more detail just by playing around with these sliders. Too much. Then to bring more contrast, I normally touch the blacks instead of using the contrast itself, because contrast plays around with the highlights and the shadows at the same time. In this case, I just want to play around with the shadow area to get more emotion out of. So see, some details on the lens are lost by doing that, but I will recover them using a brush later. What else to bother me? You know what? Let's recover some of the details on this lens. While I'm dropping the blacks, I lose some details here. So I click the brush tool, click reset to start with a fresh, unedited settings. Then I increase the exposure for this area. Maybe the saturation for that color cast you see inside the lens. Then I just same diameter a bit of the lens, then rub it slightly. See how much detail you can bring out. Oh my god, I like it. I can see now the different parts of the lens and some color in the lens. I don't want to do this on this lens because I will only expose fungus. So don't bother reviving that area. So this would be good. What else? That's pretty much it. Colors are nice. I won't touch it. So let's go back. So basically my primary focus attention goes to highlights and the whites and the blacks. And I guess make sure I give a touch of clarity. Doesn't hurt. Around 20, 15. And now it's about time for me to double check the cropping. I like it. I have no second thoughts. And after that, I click this button to compare before and after. See how much more punchy this process file is compared to the raw file. Raw files, no matter what camera you have, will be flatter than your JPEGs, and processed image will be more flatter than the processed JPEGs. And this is how I process my raw files, at least on this example. And I click this button again, then it's time to export. I usually export my files on the same folder as the original photo, put it on a subfolder called selected or JPEGs. Then I normally put extra details like the camera used and the focal length. You can customize this here. Add more details, and here's file name, lens, brightness value. This one is nothing. You can add more like date, sequence, metadata. You can use these details. You can add it on your file name. Camera make, model, metering mode, ISO. For sure I use 200 here, so it's not an info I need every time. Dimensions, focal length, I'm using prime, so the other details already tell that. Normally it's a good info to put which aperture you use, but it's not here. Metering mode, make model, serial number, artist. Ooh, there's no aperture info. I'm sure there is. You can go through this list and further customize it, then export. Since I have an original one, I click use nicknames. So I hope you like this video. These things I learned also from other photographers, copying their style. It's not it's not the original way of editing photos. It's very typical, and you can add your own style to it. I hope you like it, and see you next time. Come on, come on, come on.